Beautiful, beautiful welcome, wonderful souls and friends around the world. I hope you're doing well in this quiet, rapid, fast change, fast pace we are all on, especially, of course, now after the two powerful eclipses, of course, especially the solar eclipse. And I'm sure that you're all still feeling its effect because usually the eclipse season isn't over when the eclipse is done, but basically there is still about a week or a bit more past shadow time to integrate. But today I came on by an inner calling, by an inner self-realization, because of course this is also a time where we reflect a lot, we realize a lot, we basically grow, transform a lot. And that's why I was really kind of inspired to come online and share another consciousness stream. And today it would be all regarding the shadows of the past. And what do I mean with these shadows of the past? Everything is a constant dance between the shadow and the light. That's why I chosen kind of this sun ray to leave in the camera, because what is truly hindering us, and that's something really huge, what is coming up now, and not just now for me, but we all are in that collective field, is actually that this kind of shadows, and let's call them now this kind of different wounds and hard experiences and traumas, and no matter how we are labeling it, but let's call it truly the shadow aspects of experiences. Yeah, so this means that it's maybe not a happy, nice experience, but truly imprinted us in a more deeper emotional way, painful way, even disruptive way, brought in some anger, some judgment, and so on, right? So all of that we are really including under the topic of being the shadow, okay? But now what is coming up, especially again with this eclipse season, because eclipses are there to really push us really in a fast movement on our expansion, in our growth, right? But what is coming up very strongly, and I could basically today clearly hear it, and that's why I came on to bring that message to support you in your individual grow, in your beautiful individual self-realization, is that if we only see it that all of these experiences which brought us, let's call it again, trauma, fears, anger, that we started to suppress it, that we started to forget it, that we maybe even did a fast closure of these topics. Let's say someone hurt you and you just said, okay, it's fine, I don't need to see you anymore, and you move on. We didn't integrate the experience. We only kind of let it linger around till we forget it or pressed it somewhere. And that's what will now start to rise in all of you, all of us, because it's time to use whatever we ever experience to transmute it into living potential. So we are not anymore in the judgment for any kind of experience, because these are our shadows which will always otherwise haunt us, not let us go through the golden gate, go into the next vibrational state of ourself. And that's why it will start to rise up now. And whatever it is, we are all having our skeletons, because we are kind of a society which is really being built up in perfection. Okay, so the mind is the one who says we need to be always, looking good, doing everything perfect, doing perfect, beautiful things, and so on. And that's, of course, wonderful, but it's not realistic, because we all had and still gonna have our down days, our, being in a low vibrational state for a moment, with a thought, with a feeling, whatever it is, right? And that's now something that we start now to learn through the opening of the Pandora's box, that we don't need to be anymore in judgment to all of these things. Why? Because all of these things are actually judgment to our own self. So we will then judge ourselves. Why did I ever have this experience with this person? Why did I ever had to feel down if I'm usually a very strong person? Why did I had to feel that if I don't want to feel that? And like that we are denying parts of ourselves. Until we are in denial, individual, collectively, we are not really moving forward. Okay, so this means that push, that next wave of awakening, is actually to awaken us to look and become honest to ourselves, and not just to say, if I feel bad, let's do something really fast to feel good again. That's all avoidance. So why do I feel bad? Can we stop for a moment and look at it and see, why did it appear? Because it has a gift for me. And this gift wants to be seen, unwrapped, and then basically learned by it and integrated. And that's what's going to happen now more and more, because again, we want and we are in the middle of the awakening. But awakening means to be faced with the truth. Because if you awaken, you suddenly see, you open your eyes, and suddenly you see what is there. And before we were all, I am not excluding no one, even not my own self. We all were very good by being fast and sometimes not go into the surface, and sometimes not deal with things which wanted to be dealt with, because we still been operating in the lower consciousness, which means being rather a child than an adult. And again, this is something which we all also had, and it's nothing to be now ashamed of. But what I'm really seeing now around me, and it's going to come more and more, or what friends are telling me and so on, is truly that we can't basically run away anymore from everything what we are. So everything what we are is also this shadow aspects of the past, which maybe you would never love to tell no one about this past, because you feel maybe you're, yes, Crystal, you are ashamed of it, or you don't want to present yourself anymore as this person, because now maybe people know you as more pulled together, right? And if you would say, oh, but I also had this experience in the past, then maybe they would judge you, see you in a different light. And that's why we actually have to look at those skeletons now. And it will appear now as dreams, as people suddenly coming back, maybe, I don't know, past lovers, past friends from 10, 20, 30 years back. Maybe they suddenly gonna write you a message, knock on your door, you meet them on the street. So don't be surprised, because if there was something we really didn't really wrap up in the way that we learned from it, they basically have to come as our own aspect in the outside back, so we face our own selves. And again, I wrote it in the title, or under the title, that this is almost like meeting now our own dark, because again, we are maybe ashamed of it, that we still have fears. Maybe we are really feeling insecure, and we can't show this to no one because actually I'm a, I don't know, already a spiritual being, so I can't have insecurities. So you see, it's like everything needs to come now up, and it will come with your or without your um, yes, okay, because it's like now in that push, everything is coming to the surface to be seen as a truth. So even people which you maybe saw in a certain light before, you maybe now suddenly going to start to see them also in a different way. Maybe they're going to act different. Maybe they're going to say something, and you're going to wake up to the kind of truth that all they were presenting before wasn't maybe so truthful. And now you're going to see and say, okay, so maybe this person is not really that strong as they're presenting to the society or to myself. And you might be even the only one in the circle seeing their kind of insecurity or their dark side, right? And again, the dark side needs to be embraced now with that light. Why did we get this huge, powerful solar eclipse that reset to really start to embody back our powers? And we can only embody our powers if we're starting to integrate all of our aspects. And that's why we're going to be now returned back to all these past stories. And even if it's from your childhood and beyond, and it felt so uncomfortable that you never wanted to think about it again, it's going to come up, but only to see it this time, not to fear it, not to judge it, not that you have not to cry about it, but really to see it, okay, it was only another experience of my soul. And then feel into it. Am I ready now to move on, or will it still bring up like a trigger in me? Because if you still feel that you can't go back to the story or tell it to no one, then you know this story is not transformed yet, and it will haunt you, this shadow from the past, almost like hold you back, like on a string, if you want to say so, right? And that's the point. That's really the point, that we shall not fear, not be ashamed, not be sad about anything we are, we experienced, or we ever shared into this world. That's the work now. Because till then, we are still disconnected from parts of our own selves. And this will really not allow us then to feel whole, to feel I'm now empowered, to feel that I can now really start a new life, to feel that I can now choose another different version of myself. Because this part from the past is holding me back. Because if the past, the shadow, tells me, well, once upon a time you being this really terrible person, and you left this person for another person, and you are doing this, and everyone knows that you're so terrible, this is all still lingering. You can't then change and become someone else, someone more advanced and open and more kind, or whatever your choice will be. Because we can have the choice to actually embody whoever we want along that path. But we really first, again, need to, it's connected, yes, with forgiveness, that we are not seeing anything we ever been experienced as something dark we want to just cut off, forget, burrow into the ground and talk about it with no one. Right? Because this, of course, is then you're cutting away pieces of you, you're cutting away potential of you. And the consciousness wants us now to go deep, deep into who we truly are. And yes, we are not just angels. Yes, we are not just beautiful. Yes, we are also full of hate. Yes, we are also insecure. Yes. So start saying yes to all what you find because it won't then hold you back anymore. It's almost like when I say now yes, it's the moment I accept and I go through it till I say no, 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 I am never a hateful person, I am never this. You're actually at the wall of denial and you won't pass it, right? So it's really more about the ego again, our own self-ego, which is in shame, which wants to present itself always just perfectly and not show none of your past skeletons, yes? But again, till we see it as shadows, as skeletons, till then they're lingering. When we see it and embrace it, that it was only experience where I was on my path in a lower consciousness state, so I didn't have more tools than from that state. When we can see it like that, we can transmute it and then move through. Otherwise, always, all the experiences will be stronger than your next steps, because it will always be like in the ear talking to you. Well, are you sure that you have the power to move on? Are you sure that you can, I don't know, fulfill your soul path because this and that? And that's the point, because it's always everything happening within us. We are very fast and easy to say, it was my mother, it was my father, it was my ancestral lineage, they were all so terrible, or whatever it was. It's my boss, it's my son, it's my who cares? Because all of this again is only a response energy to my energy. So this means if I'm now in a fear, of course the world will present me something, someone, situation to respond back to me that fear. And then I'm gonna say, you see, they scared me. It's all happening within us. Always, 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 always. Beautiful souls. No matter if I'm talking to you in 5 years, 10 years, if it's me talking to you, or 100 others, or 1,000 others, it's always, always happening just within you. Even now, listening to me, whoever is tuned in now, I'm only reflecting as well back what you might on some level already understand or feel, or I'm just reminding you. But at the same time, again, understand this time it's different. Since we passed the solar eclipse, I know that many of you feel that something is truly different. And what is different, we received so much light codes of higher consciousness. So this means this higher consciousness helps us for much more easier understanding, because the understanding helps us to move forward. Because if you still feel and don't have the understanding that something happened to you because this person was so not nice to you and they're a bad person, then you still are in the victimhood, yes? And this means you can't recognize. So we need higher consciousness all the time, more and more, because this will then help our mind for much more easier to see it from a bigger perspective, and not only, oh my God, you know, the judgment, they are like that, this is good, this is bad, this is white, this is black, and so on. And that's why this solar eclipse really put into the whole collective field, which means into our bodies, so much light codes, that's why it's starting now to opening up this Pandora's box and help us to realize that to move on into a new, beautiful, harmonious collective field, which will bring then a new reality, right? New thoughts, new vision, new experience, okay? That this will help us basically to deal with the Pandora box we are having now opened up. And in the Pandora box, again, we have experiences which we want just to forget. But Source is not allowing us to do that anymore, because its value very important, beautiful potential of our own self. We can't forget parts of us, and that's why it's coming back now. So don't wonder if suddenly you have the feeling, didn't I deal with that already, or with this person, or with this programming, or with this wound? Yes, probably not in that manner, otherwise it wouldn't come back. So this means it can only come back if there is still some layer to be realized. And if the layer is only that it wasn't the pain which was experienced, but the pain brought you growth, instantly you're shifting it. Can you feel that? Again, that it's not only pain which this experience brought me, but the pain brought me growth. You have already a gift. You right now, in that expression, in that sentence, found actually the gem. And that's why the new consciousness is coming up and wants us to basically embrace all of our creation, because like this we're gonna transmute. That's our tool now. Transmute everything which is still lingering in the darkness, because in the darkness means that it's just not aware yet, that it's not something bad, that it's not something being denied and abandoned, but we can receive it, we can face it. And that's as well the mastery now. The mastery is that we're truly learning with who we are, with the consciousness now, 2024, that we can face anything. And we need that. Because imagine, now it's just us here in that room, but imagine that there are going to be so many out there, more and more awakened. But again, awakening means suddenly seeing the truth, and so many gonna really fall off their chair when they're gonna start to see in how much, not just illusion, but lies, self-lies, deceit, they were all living and even collaborating in. And then we shall not be there as the judges, yeah? But we shall be there in the higher awareness and consciousness, supporting, being there, basically leading the way to show them it's okay. Even if you realize now that you've been deceived, or you've been the one who deceived others, that you can still transmute that and basically neutralize it into new potential and go forward, because then you also have a chance to actually create something new from a higher consciousness. And that's what we are doing, beautiful souls. So that's the point, that we all are now so important, each of you, each of us, that we start to realize and not to judge anymore who we've been, what we all experienced, with who we all dealt with. Because when we can do that, others will then see that and like that receive as well our help. Because otherwise we're going to just step from one judgment era into the next one. And that's not really where we are all wishing to journey towards, right? Into this new earth embodiment. Because new earth doesn't mean now suddenly outside is everything just beautiful, and that's now shown in a realistic way, in a materialized way. But it's truly your embodiment of a higher consciousness, because the body is the earth. Everything outside is actually what you can feel and what is happening inside. So what we are then outside seeing is almost the end product from our own self. How we feel, who we are, what we think, are we doing regularly energetic cleanses. Everything is shown outside. So don't think that it's still time, because it's basically not, that we can still point fingers and blame everyone and everything. That's done. So you can try, but it will very fast come back your boomerang. So rather to now concentrate, why is the neighbor still not waking up? Why my partner is still not seeing me as, I don't know, the divine feminine? Concentrate on you. Again, the fastest results, if we want to call it like results in the reality, you're going to see, experience when you start the work inside. So this means stop concentrating and really start to face your shadows, face what was, and embrace everything as gifts. You can do it as ever you choose, in light, in love, but to realize that it was nothing ever something against you, because that's the biggest lie. That's why we are still where we are, because we then forgot that we believed that lie, and then the lie was bigger than our divinity. So this means we were suddenly indeed like little humans running around having all these terrible experiences, and everyone else was the fault for that, yes? So this means what we are doing now, we are wakening up to our next spiritual maturity. So when you do realize, okay, everything outside is actually my frequency, you're gonna very fast start to find ways, how can I every day cultivate to keep my frequency in a higher vibration? Because when I do, it's not just that I'm happy running through the day. No, it's helping me when I'm gonna meet all those who are still not really completely awake, or maybe in their processes of the awakening. So this means in their fear process, in their frustration, in their anger, that it's not than me coming onto their way and just hit them with the same tool, with the anger, with the frustration, with hate, but that I, in my higher vibration, can then just pass through like a master and really vibrate and bring like that transmutation. So this means you're helping yourself to easier flow through such dense fields, and you're helping this other person to not basically just meet them with their own, let's say, more negative weapon. All right? So that's super important, because otherwise we're just looping. And it's about us now, those who may be a little bit more awake or more awoke and already have more tools of understanding. And this eclipse brought the next level. And this next level is, okay, let's do the dive now again into that darkness of myself, and let's see where can I still face which I maybe didn't saw before. Maybe I wanted to forget that this neighbor was so terrible and I always sent him bad vibes. I'm owning that. Yes. When I was, I don't know, 20, I had bad vibes in my mind and I was sending it to this guy. I'm owning that. That's my shadow, and I'm now transmuting it. And I know this doesn't mean that I'm then in my core a bad person. That's how we're gonna own our basically stuff back. Yes, and like that as well, our power back. Because if we're still running from our own creation, then how can we face a world which is waiting for a complete reconstruction? We need power for that. We need courage for that. We need strength for that. And surely we need faith for that. And how can we do that if we're basically still running from our own past? Please take this in, because it's really concerning us all. We have to face the past to be ready, stronger than ever, to face the unknown future, which we're gonna then start to rebuild in a much more clear way, more transparent, more honest way. Because deceit, lies, all of that is just coming because we were all together suppressing. And imagine a field of billions of people suppressing. So everyone can feel something, but nobody's speaking it up. Or everyone can feel, ooh, he's full of anger, but he's never saying something. And suddenly you just hear, I don't know, something terrible happen or he did to someone, because it was always just pushed down. And all of this is lingering in the field, you understand? So that's why we all have now to face our past, our darkness, or what we ever experienced, and bring their new consciousness, bring their light, bring their love, that we are not anymore in the judgment towards past, towards all these others who did something to us, towards this terrible world. Because if we every day holding this frequency within us, we are like that creating. Because we always think that we are creating by just saying it with words. But holding it, even in our subconscious, we are still creating. And that's why it's time to face everything we ever been, to be able to become someone new. So this time it's getting into the nitty-gritty of the things. And again, if something gonna come up, please don't judge yourself and say, oh my God, I'm a failure because I thought I cleaned it up already, or I closed it up with this person already. Please don't think and feel that you're a failure on this growth path. It just came back from another perspective to show you something, so you can then now finally go into this peace, that it's not triggering you anymore, and that you're free. Because if something is triggering us, beautiful ones, we are not free. This tie to the past, to this person, to these feelings, to this trauma, all this is keeping us locked within ourselves. And then we get angry, we get frustrated. Why can't I move on? Why I can't make normal choices and just go somewhere and do another job? Because there's still something to look at. So it's not that we're not able, we are capable of a lot. But just to really face now what is coming up, and what this really powerful solar eclipse opened up. But it also gave us a massive, massive gift of this high potent light frequencies codes within our body, because this will help us to super fast recognize now, okay, who was in the past like that to me, what did I do to this person, why this person showed up, and so on. And we're gonna do like a resume of our life, but in a really rapid way. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty, that we don't need to linger inside of that years more or many months. You can do it actually, if you want, few hours, few days, and you're done. And you're done. So really take this on board, because we need each of you, each of us now, to become so much more stronger. But then we can't hold frequency of fear of our own self, of our own past within our body systems. We can't do that, because it's still then taking energy from us, and it's actually making us rather weak in the process, rather falling back to be then a victim, which we are surely not. So step out and get into your powers, like this Aries really pushing us, but not for big actions, but it's giving us strength to meet ourselves, to meet our own past, shadow, darkness, everything which is still lingering, and being not just not aware, but maybe that we don't want to be aware of it because it was just so traumatic. So be kind to yourself when you find all these spots and these past stories, but also recognize them as stories, experiences which only happen for the reason to experience and to grow. So transmute everything which was before like a feeling of fear, hate, pain into wisdom. And like that, we are then maturing into this beautiful, yeah, the sun is shining, into this beautiful, beautiful master, okay? So that we take on board these pearls of life and not anymore go into any kind of judgment. Why did this person do this to me? Why all this happened? Because then we're not getting out of it. We need to find that everything had a particular reason, and that you don't need to analyze, but you need your compassion now, but also your strength to meet it and to not anymore avoid it, run away from it, or blame that the others, it's their fault and not your fault, right? Yes, because this Pandora's box, again, it's open now. There is no going back, and we are just basically starting this new era. And again, awakening doesn't mean only everything will now be pink roses and beautiful colors on the sky. That's an extra topping, but it's gonna really invite us, if not in a nice way, then even almost push us into this cold water to become authentic, to become sovereign, and to become your own self-sustainable source. We cannot anymore be the little children who blame everyone, but really take responsibility for anything. Even if you had hate in your heart, take responsibility. Nobody is there to judge you, just you. But we need to transmute that. It's holding us back for this next wave to cross through. Yes? All right. I feel already now we're going into the transmission, into the next part of this stream. Yes. So I hope this one is really supporting you in the process, because again, now the real deeper work is beginning, because a lot's been avoided and a lot's been feared to be faced. And how can we be source and be afraid to face anything? So we still need to cultivate this very, very strong within us. Okay. Right. So if you want now to receive this transmission, I'm gonna bring through some codes. Just let me see what is coming through. Okay, interesting. So I feel yes, I feel the Mayans, very interesting. Yes, and they want to actually bring us through. For those who don't know, I'm a multidimensional channel since early age. So this means I can very easily tap them into different consciousness states, fields, dimensions. Yes, and then I can basically channel through what is coming for the highest good for the group, for the world, for you now here. And they're saying, yes, to become guardians of the new world, we actually need to embrace the whole world. So till we go, makes very much sense, till we go into the judgment that something is bad on this world, you can't be a guardian of this whole garden of Gaia. Getting goosebumps on that. Okay, and they're bringing us in. They're saying it's actually like warriors code, but not warriors how we are thinking, so not like in a destructive way, but rather as a strength. Yeah, so receive now these codes. Yes, Mayan codes. And they're saying it's not just from the Mayans now, but as well all the indigenous tribes who ever been on this planet, and some still are, and been highly devoted in their guardianship to Gaia through love and through wisdom. Erki hakrochleria tonoshuk urkinit aikinitiria ka a torurura ki na halaharetiniki na shakt a Ria, ria, korki, tanayaka, ea, shika. Don't fear your ground, don't fear your roots, sha'ira tana e. Own who you are, who you ever been, shanakareti ito yonoka a. You can't run away from self, shiri, ihrata a. Only together you can unite through being this clear, strong, authentic self, shakaratina, ira, ia, tana, kea, shakta, laya, tana, ea, and I'm seeing the whole circle around us from all of these different tribes, bringing in those codes, ashnarate, ea, almost like passing us on their wisdom codes, shiria, kara, haitoa, erkia, you have to, yes, grow up, mature, sharatana ea. And this you can only do by not blaming anything and anyone anymore. Sharata, ilkia, arco, toro, ko. Yes, exactly. This bringing a lot of self-empowerment back just by feeling that, yes, I feel around your plexus a lot happening. Shantarata, ea. Yes, and they're also bringing us through the plexus a bridge to your higher heart. Shikarata, era, tera, oh. Yes, it's gonna help to transform, yes, the ego part system. I can see it's still like a grit, yes, like of the ego. Sharata, era, natotokorota, like a net holding you back. Shiriya, harata, coming in as well. Fire, yes, holy fire, shiri la la hara to tachinki aik harakatatiya nata hala rotorororia naka. Exactly, just breathe. Haro horo tianaki aroko ora ki a. Yes, to wake up, you're courageous. Life force within. Shiria tarakia nahara toro. Entia ara ko shua halate atititia nataka roratina. Yes, coming in as well. Royal dragon shinititia nakatatotosh natakana urkatia natatakeshnaka to connect you as well with your own personal dragon. Shirararara. For all those who don't understand, this is life force in different consciousness forms and kingdoms. Shaka ayata a to is connecting you back to your roots. Irka ira tanahata a etitu tarakiana tashnuhura ha a taya ta shokoroto orka inataya shete I tarina kayata exactly shurkana slowly to help you to embody, to sink into your body, to not fear your body, because your body is the earth, your body is life, ashnata, and like that you won't fear then anything which is still in your deepest, darkest self. Shaharata, erka, arka, ura, yes, bringing peace, ashunata, yeah, to be able to face self. Asha, anataya. Arinaka, and now it's coming Gaia in Ashakura, Aikono. Yes, and she, mother, yes, mother gonna embrace you, embrace us all with her pure love frequency. Tia nashahaya toroko halatea, sant a koyoshanatiriata, nikana, oro toro tanaya talakina toshotuku aikina, tanakea. Eatana sharati akuratara santa shinarai koshori lachnatara ta inna. My children shanara keata urkunu. You often speak ashana how you are judging others akoroko that they are uhuratanaha mistreating me, Shanaka, but let me tell you, beautiful one, Sainaratara Iata, it is you who I feel, you judging self, you judging each other, Shanakaratara Iata. This brings me deepest, yes, deepest sadness, Shana, not what you are done with me, but what you done with you, Shanarakiata. My greatest love goes to all of your hearts to recognize this. Sharata niyatarakia. As this, when you do this to each other, that's when you, yes, hurt the earth. your bodies, Shanata, and then I feel you, Shanarata yake, Tinta Sha'a, you see, beloved, return to your hearts, return to your bodies, and treat self as you would like to be treated, and as well I will treat and feel and make you feel as that. Shuratana eatarakiata shinata siatia tia tia tanaka And just feel how she truly beautifully embraced us all and made us as well remember on the importance, how, in which consciousness, in which awareness are you treating self, others, all what you are, as this will reflect as the outer earth. And please drink now enough water, about 2 glasses in the next few days, because this all been deep, powerful codes which goes till your DNA. So understand it's very strong, no matter how you perceived it. But I'm very happy to always hear some feedbacks. You can leave in the comments how you felt it, what you perceived, because again, I'm only here reflecting as well as the vessel of the One. Sending so much love from Slovenia, and please rewatch it as often you want, because I think very important information regarding our time ahead of transmutation of all what was, back from judgment into oneness. Much love from my heart to yours.